All right. Hi, I'm Rob.
Hi, I'm Brittany, and we are the Vancours. I am from Delta Junction, Alaska. I grew up in a family that was broken. My parents were split up, but they both went to church and both sang in the choir. And I think that's how I kind of came to know Jesus, was just being at church. And I attribute that a lot to my parents. I joined the military at the age of 17. And from there, I would say that my life took spiritually probably a 180. I started feeling like maybe I don't deserve the grace that God gives us. So instead of turning back to God and asking forgiveness, I started running in shame.
And I was a homebody. I grew up and lived in San Antonio, Texas. Just played sports my whole life. Jesus was not foreign to me, but it was also not the forefront of everything I did, thought about, and lived for. It was more sports and hanging out with friends. So I followed where all my cool friends would go, and that was to church on Wednesday to praise and worship. And in hindsight, I probably went there for the wrong reasons. I grew up, with a decently firm foundation on, okay, I know a little bit about God, a little bit about Jesus, but not really understanding what that meant.
So fast forward, we moved to Boerne, Texas, have our little one, and that's where things kind of started unraveling in not in our marriage, but in our lives a little bit. So I am done, at this point I'm done with my instructing assignment at Camp Bullis, and we've been selected to move to Florida. We arrived to Florida, and it was probably about not even 3 or 4 weeks, and I just started feeling this man, I really need to go to church. I want to go to church. I miss it. So one Sunday morning, I go up to my husband and I say, hey, honey, I've been researching churches in the area. I see Manna Church over here. It's literally around the corner in a school. Let's go there. And he looked at me and he said, you should have warned me. So I ended up going by myself with my son and listened to the word that day, but I felt like, wow, this is amazing. And then they called us down to pray. They said, if anybody wants to come and pray for anything, please come down here. And I just felt like, hey, I need to go and pray for my family. And I prayed for my husband to come to church with me. He came to church with me every Sunday after that.
My view on church when I first started coming was, I'm here to support my wife, to be a good husband. After having kids, you realize, man, they don't really listen to anything you say, but they watch everything you do. I started realizing that I needed to be what I wanted my children to become. But it wasn't until I kind of just surrendered to the process, which really started with me going to small groups. And that in turn led to going to First Step. And then I started playing in the worship band.
And I think some of it also is probably just being in the military, you think you're just gonna up and leave. Our priorities and our thoughts and the way we framed our thinking around that has changed. I'm grateful that we did get plugged in. I'm grateful that people came up to us and was like, hey, you wanna join Welcome Team? You wanna join Man and Kids? We'd love to have you. You wanna join the worship team? Hey, we have Man and Men's. Because I really saw a difference in our home when Rob started going to small groups. When he started going to Man and Men's, we had worship playing in the house all the time. We were praying at dinner. Our son was holding our hands, looking for our hands to pray, and it was just something changed, and it was amazing.
Man and Men's, I honestly went there, and for months I just sat there and just listened. I didn't say anything. I didn't really want to say anything. I just wanted to be in the presence of something. So I just kept showing up and finally started speaking and hearing other people's stories. I'm like, I got a story for you. Let me just share. Because it impacted me so much to hear other people's stories and just everybody continually sharing.
In April, we had two kind of tragedies happen. We lost a pregnancy, and then about a week later, I lost my dad. God blessed us through Pete and Alyssa Hines, through leading FPU, our Financial Peace University, and it lined up. because we went from a place where we could have never afforded to go back to my dad's funeral to now we can go back, we can provide for my family, and then we can pay off some of these debts that we had that blessed our family in a way that you don't, unless you go through it, you don't know like what that, like just how God's timing is just perfect. And I'm sitting here like, wow, God, your timing really is perfect, because now I can see like, hey, you can go through so much suffering and so much pain, but God is going to use that suffering and use that pain to speak to others.
Manna Church has definitely changed the way we think about everything. It's not the building, it's not the sermons, the worship, it's the people. It's a different approach to church.
We've gone through a lot, and we've seen each other through a lot, and there's been so much grace that we've had to show each other in our marriage, grace that we've had to show each other in our experiences, even in our growth in the church and God in general. So I would say we just gotta let grace work.